from Osaka, Japan. I'm here at Stringphonic headquarters in Osaka, Shinsaibashi. I'll put a link in the description box. So if you're ever in Osaka, you can come visit. Harry's a great guy, excellent customer service, amazing craftsmanship. And here I'm demonstrating this new model. It's a Stringphonic Eddie Lang style guitar. And as you would expect from their craftsmanship, their Gypsy jazz guitars are great, and so is this guitar. And what I just played for you was a little something by Eddie Lang, A Little Love, A Little Kiss. And yeah, I think this guitar will be for sale very, very soon. And check out their website for more details. While I have this guitar with me, I would just like to say a little something about playing in the old style, namely the early 1930s style. I think many people, when they have an idea of playing swing music, they're thinking that you have to play like major 6 chords and you have to play like 3 voicings. That's kind of the image that I seem to get from people learning this style. And while this certainly does exist, I think Freddie Green kind of pioneered the minimalist approach. If you listen to a lot of guitar players in the 30s and well into the 40s, Eddie Lang, Charlie Christian, Django Reinhardt, and even players who are not so well known, you will see pictures of them using grips like this, full triads, and also you can hear it. For example, if there's a C7 chord, instead of playing like this, they would play it like this beefy fifth on the bottom. And so if I played like rhythm on a tune like Dinah, it could sound like this. Chords that a lot of players in the past seem to favor. And one thing that I also see, and I've discussed in my previous videos, is the use of the minor 7 chord. It's not that it didn't exist in the 30s, but when it comes to just rhythm guitar playing, most players, at least in the 30s, were using, instead of a 2 chord, well, they were just playing dominant chord. So a song like I Can't Get Anything But Love, instead of playing 2 minor, go straight to the dominant and they will do something. This chord didn't seem to be much in use until maybe in the 40s. You can see the Nat King Cole, the guitar player, I believe his name was Oscar Moore, or was it Irving Ashby? I think they both played for Nat King Cole. But anyway, you can hear and see them start to use this chord in the 40s. But in the 30s, it was just dominant. And if it was going to be minor, often they played it as a triad. There's a recording of Charlie Christian. If my ears are not mistaken, I hear him doing something like this. He does play the minor 7, but as a passing. He starts out with the triad. So this was kind of like very typical of the early 1930s style. Oh, sorry. These are the things that you have to be mindful if you really want to get into that style kind of quote-unquote authentically. You have to let go of all these all this conventional wisdom. I think when we're playing music from the past, it can be a good idea to understand where they were coming from a social aspect, from a historical aspect. Namely the fact that music schools, jazz education as it exists today, did not exist in those days. So there were no quote-unquote jazz chords as they're called nowadays. They just had chords, and you have to kind of try to bury that side of this knowledge that you have right now and try to go from the beginning and explore maybe the conditions that they lived in those days. The musical environment, the education that they were likely to receive, which was not necessarily a jazz education, but more a general quote-unquote education coming from the classical side of things. So, for example, this excerpt that I played in the beginning starts off with a G major chord, all triads, and then he does play a minor 6 chord, And then after here it's all triad. There is a major 7 because that's part of the melody, but this is not an accompaniment. This is just him playing chords. But so it's very revealing. And this chord, Eddie Lang was very fond of this. So were a lot of other players. These chords, you know, plain minor, not minor 7. I see a lot of people who are trying to play like a 30 style and they play minor 7 a lot. And the reason for that is because of the curse of the modern education. It's just like you take it for granted. There are a lot of things that we take for granted, and when you're trying to play historical music, you have to, again, relearn things, so to speak. I can make another video about that, you know, the whole historical approach to learning. But yeah, so there's little hints that you can think about when you're trying to play in this style. Let me play some Django style on this guitar. And some Dick McDonough style. Same thing with this Dick McDonough style. In the beginning, alright, major 7. This is something that Django liked to play, but this is recorded in 1934. Dick McDonough, Honeysuckle Rose. So he was not influenced by Django, I believe. So these are chords that are typical in the early days. But this is interesting. This chord, well, actually it's over A, bass. You would probably analyze this as E minor 11, but I think he was just thinking A7, like a sus thing. And then here. So the melody does have a D, which is the minor 7, but he's doing it as a triad, G triad. It's very cool. Voice leading. And another thing about the historical approach that some people tend to forget nowadays, we tend to assume nowadays that chords are set in stone, but in those days people came up with their own harmonizations. So his idea of Honeysuckle Rose is D, G, D, then E7, back to E7 to D. So little things like that. There we go. So this is a fantastic guitar. Check it out. Stringphonic, Osaka, Japan. Bye bye. Konnichiwa. Here I am in Osaka, Japan, which is in the Kansai region. I'm at the Stringphonic headquarters, which is in the Shinsaibashi area of Osaka. It's very central. If you ever are in this area, please drop by, talk to Harry. He's a great guy. He speaks English. You can find his website and everything. And here we have a Gypsy Jazz model, a basic model. So it's on the cheaper side of things in terms of money, but in terms of quality, it's a great guitar. And actually this one is very, very, very light. Let's hear what it sounds like. Very loud. I don't know if you can hear from the camera, but this guitar is really loud. So, if I can just describe this guitar in my personal opinion, the neck is a little bit on the chunkier side, but it's something that I like. I just like the feel of it. The action is, well, actually the action is kind of high-ish, but The tension is so low that I feel it just plays itself. Yeah, there's no problem playing fast. Right? Zero problem. I didn't even warm up. I just grabbed the guitar and just played, so it's very easy to play. And I really must say something about Japanese craftsmanship. They really take care of the instruments. The presentation is beautiful. If you buy this guitar, they're gonna just set it up for you and everything. I really mean it. These guys are really, really great. So there we go. Stringphonic basic model available for sale directly from Stringphonic Guitars.